Hello, hi, welcome to Pussy and Cunty, PC Drag. I'm Cassie de la Cunt, and this is...
Pina Bush, and welcome to episode 6.
Girl, what did that girl just say, girl?
We are talking about getting booked today. Booked and blessed, or sometimes not so blessed. What is your sponsored beverage today, Cassie?
Oh, my sponsored beverage is by Lefty Duel's Bloody Mary Mix / Sveka Vodka.
Wait, back up. Lefty's has a Bloody Mary mix that you can get?
Yes, at Whole Foods. It was the last bottle, and it was like only $7, and it's delicious. What are you drinking, Pina?
Well, I'm drinking coffee. It's a little mocha situation, but I do have my favorite, one of my favorite mugs, my Cracker Barrel mug, which features the Cracker Barrel logo and the rocking chair.
So, Pina Bush.
Cassie de la Cunt.
How do you get booked? BC before Corona and DC during Corona.
Well, so getting booked when I first began doing drag was something that I found very challenging because I didn't realize that you have to ask for bookings and not wait for the producer to come to you. And I know that sounds really self-explanatory, but I had no idea. So I'm seeing these queens get like all these shows and I'm like, how are they doing this? And like they're literally asking. I kind of found my niche within like certain shows. Like Double Take was a big one, Polsexual, Mama Dora's Love, stuff like that. And so like not really getting grandfathered in necessarily, but like once I was in that community, it became much easier to ask like, hey, I see that this theme is coming up. I would really like to do this show. It's definitely, I feel like really hard to kind of cold call somebody and be like, hey, I really want to perform. Yeah. It definitely helps to have friends who can kind of vouch for you too. Like if it's a show that you know, but you might not know the producers, but somebody you know does. So, and then during Corona, like I'm just not performing very much. So, the shows I am doing, they're shows I'm already kind of a part of and, have been just like sort of very snail-like reaching out to people just here and there, little pockets.
Which isn't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not like.
No, it's DC. It's during Corona. Who cares?
I'm like, I'm taking care of myself. So, Miss Cassie de la Cunt.
Miss Pina Bush.
How do you get booked? DC.
How do I get booked? Well, let's see. Like, I can give you like a kind of a two-city scenario. So like in New York City, I was only getting booked because of my big drag sister who wanted me to do drag. And then the other ways I was getting booked was because I was inserting myself to help organizations to raise money. So that was like my cause for drag at that time was to help other nonprofit organizations get money. So I'd reach out to like those people and be like, hey, I'm a bad drag queen and I'm just starting and you don't have to pay me. I just want to do drag and also want to help you. So that was one way of getting booked. And then in San Francisco, it was a lot harder to do drag because I don't know why. But like one show told me I had to book in advance, which like that's what I was doing.
Right, and I've always been so confused by that comment that they made to you because like, of course you have to book in advance.
Show's over. Like I came up to you after the show.
Like you want to see right now, like.
I mean, there's some people. I've seen them in the audience. Can I do your show now? No.
Like I have a specifically curated lineup. Like you can do it another time when I curate.
I mean, you could do the audience participation portion. Luckily for me, I had one really good friend here in the city already. Shane's Aldiva. Like me and Shane go like way back in like Miami.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We've known each other for a while.
Oh my god.
So me and Shane were hanging out and it just so happened to be a lot on Dick at Night at Moby Dick's. So Shane introduced me to Grace Towers and that's how I got my first booking. I think connections during Corona is very important because people remember you from prior and how you know, that relationship or bond has been built, like Butch Queen, like, and thankfully for doing Butch Queen, that you know, I've been in somewhat of a good spirits with Grace, and it's allowed me to perform for them like at least 3 times since this quarantine. That for during Corona, I find that it's a lot harder to get booked on other shows. I still feel like there's still kind of like an ego with some people. Like I don't know what to really advise on that. But I mean, probably the same thing as like before Corona. I reach out to the host. Next question. It's Peter Bush.
Exactly. Cassie de la Cunt. De la Cunt. I was behind the thing.
Why are you not getting booked?
Because I'm an asshole. Not getting booked. Honestly, it's because I don't put myself out there the way that I should. Like, I can fully confidently say that. Like, because when I get booked, I get really good responses. Like, I know that I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
When I deliver, I really have a hard time putting myself out there because I don't want to seem like needy. I don't want to seem greedy, you know. And it's a lot of.
And you
like,
also don't want rejection either.
That too, you know. It's hard to hear like, no, I don't want your art at my party. Like, it's you know, and or they say yes one time and then they don't want you back after that, and that's really too. And you know, so it can be really scary to put yourself out there, and I think that a lot of the time the fear can kind of get me. So like, and I don't want to say like, oh, I stick to my comfort zone, but you know, I'm lucky that I have a comfort zone here now that I can, you know, like, and at first I didn't. So, you know, I could say, I did say yes to every gig, and I did try every show, and, you know, worked with a lot of different producers, and, you know, realized the people that I don't like working with so much, realized the people that I love working with, like, you know, the people that before I even know what the theme of the show is, I say yes to, like, you know, it's because I love working with them.
Why I'm not getting booked? I'm wondering if I am pandering into this brand of being a bad drag queen too much, to the point where people actually maybe truly believe that I'm that terrible that they don't want to book me. I don't know if that's true. I see maybe like in the beginning of quarantine, like I was not on the top of my game per se. A, because I was still trying to figure out the digital world. B, getting comfortable with the fucking camera. So I'm not. This is so weird to me. Like even like the first episode of PC Drag Series, like I was still a little uncomfortable to be in front of a camera. I mean, doing this and then doing this whole quarantine digital stuff has definitely made it a lot better in a sense. The only thing I have to like remember is to like not look this way, look at the camera, so that I don't look like I'm staring off into space all the time.
I always look at you, not at the camera.
Exactly. And it's just like, what are you looking at, girl? Like, what are you looking at? There's been people that want to book, but haven't been able to because of, you know, my booking schedule was just booked way too far in advance, and I wanted to make sure I had certain people for certain specific events. So for me, I would reach out to that person and be like, hey, I haven't forgot about you. Just know that, you know, I am going to book you. Just wait, just be patient with me and you'll get booked. How to get banned.
So personally, I have not been banned from a show. I don't think.
I think I have.
I don't know if I've been like actively actually banned from. I know that there are certain shows that I'm pretty sure will never ever book me, and if I reached out to them, they would be like, sorry.
It's like banned and you know it, and there's silently banned.
Right. So like I might have been silently banned from something. I'm pretty sure I have. Be a dick, and you'll never get asked back. I know some people though who have been like, who have done really bad performances, and they're just like not quite at the caliber of like where the show is at. Mm-hmm. And I've known that the producers have like actually talked to the performer and been like, hey, you had a rough night, we didn't like your number, but if in the future you want to come back, we'll talk about it, but like just know that this didn't work out this time.
Like, especially with See You Next Time, because it's become a platform for especially a lot of newer performers. So for me, the way I try to like, you know, tell them is like, if they're really, 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 really bad, like god awful bad, I will first pull them aside after the show, be like, hey, can I give you some critiques with nobody around? If they're up for it, great, I'll tell them. And they're like, look, this is nothing against you personally, it's just to help you get that. And then if you're a new performer, you should be able to be open to critique. I mean, I wish people would critique me more when I first started.
I'm so afraid to critique because they're afraid of the backlash. And it's like,
well, like as a newer performer, I think you should be pretty open-minded about it.
But no, how to get banned from my show? If you bring a mess and you do not clean it up appropriately, or if you do not follow the rules of the bar on messes, and you still make them anyway, Cassie de la Cunt.
Miss Pina Bush.
Why do you get booked?
Why do I get booked? Well, currently, I only get booked on my show and Chris's show. I tend to bring something different to the table. I am not your typical Bay Area drag performer. I don't feel like I feel I'm very like in my own little category. Like I'm such a chameleon that like for me, it just sets me very far apart. I'm chameleon drag. You never know what you get. Or Pandora's box in a sense. Like, what are we getting today? Who knows? Are we getting funny Cassie, serious Cassie, clown Cassie, feline Cassie, to cyborg Cassie, to horror Cassie? Like, I feel like for me as a drag performer, I am just so a mixture of things that it's just like that's why I keep getting booked. It's just like, oh, I know this person can just, handle whatever and stick to a theme or give me something that is super interesting. Like I remember with Mama Dora would always introduce me as like, this person will be loca, crazy translation. But she's amazing and get ready because this shit will be crazy. And I kind of like took that as my brand of like being loca and crazy and just you never know what you'll get with me. And I think the only other part that keeps me getting booked is because I provide such a big platform for the community that people have respect, and with that respect, I get booked. Miss Pina Bush.
Cassie de la Cunt.
Why are you getting booked?
Because I sleep with the producers. No, I'm just kidding.
You do sleep with the DJ.
I do sleep with the DJ.
Sorry, Sergio.
Every night.
Love you, Sergio.
I think that people also at this point know that I always deliver something. I try really hard not to go up and half-ass anything on stage, and I'm like the first person to say, yeah, I fucked that up if I do. But also I think that the type of drag I bring is different, and it is, something kind of weird and like freaky, but it's also very passionate and it's very fiery. I'm a very honest performer. Again, one of the reasons I don't like to half-ass anything, because that feels like lying in a way to me. I go full throttle, and I think that audiences really respond well to that, and so do producers, because like I know how to work a crowd really well, and I always get really down on myself when the crowd doesn't respond to me, because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Back to that. But yeah, I mean, my drag is kind of everywhere. It's not one thing. It's not one type. I don't feel like I have a brand other than being kind of brandless and being a floater. And but and I think that versatility, and I think that this goes with you too, is that because like no, with you like and with me, no one knows what to expect. But that said, we can be booked kind of anywhere.
This might be therapeutic for both of us.
Yes, please.
Miss Pina Bush.
Cassie De La Cunt.
Reasons why I think you keep getting booked. From my heart.
I wasn't expecting this.
I know. I was like, ooh.
Here, Mad Dog, I'm gonna hide behind you.
So reasons why I think you keep getting booked is the way you perform is so dramatic, and you have so much movement. Like, even if you took words out of a song and you moving tells a story with your body. Like, that's always consistent with you, is that you have such great body movement and you know how to portray a song and turn that into a performance with just your body. And I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
And that.
But thank you. That's well, now I get to tell you. Miss Cassie De La Cunt.
Miss Pina Bush.
I'm gonna tell you why I think people keep booking you. Hey, I've never seen a performance of yours that like I'm like, oh, I know what she's gonna do. You know, I know how this is gonna end. I know where it's gonna go. Like, even that's one thing you do really well is you can take really relatable material, but make it really funny and unexpected. And, you know, and just give it that little extra twist that doesn't push people to be uncomfortable, but pushes, or like uncomfortable in a bad way, but pushes people to be like, oh, I haven't seen that before. It's eliciting something in me, and I have to process how I feel about this, and it's exciting. You know, I feel like when I watch your numbers, I go on a journey, and you want to go on Cassie's ride because it could be really fun, or it could be really sad, or it could be really like, it's like that boat in Willy Wonka where you get it, you just have no idea.
It's like, oh, look, that's so beautiful candy. And then all of a sudden it just gets crazy. And you're just like, what the fuck did I just get into? And then it just comes out. It's like, everything's okay.
You know, like Mama Dora said, you know, you don't know what you're going to see with her. It's going to be loca. No, you got your shit together, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much again for joining us for episode 6. We can't believe it's already gone this far, and we're so happy that you've been along for the journey with us. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, tell all your friends. Once again, I'm Pina Bush.
And I'm Cassie De La Cunt. Thank you for tuning in for Pussy and Cunty PC Drag Series. And we'll all see you next time.
Pussy, puss, puss, give him cunt, 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 bitch. Mama, yes, God, then you pop that tongue, bitch. This whole club is my runway, run, bitch. Y'all 5, 4, 3, 2s, I'm a one, bitch. Girl, what did that girl just say, girl? Girl.